an online service that offers a guaranteed custom brewing experience for the craft beer enthusiast who doesn't have the time or space for home brewing, but they want visibility and distribution in the craft beer drinking community.
Build-A-Beer's target market is at the intersection of the craft beer enthusiast and the home brewer, or those interested in home brewing, who we have coined the brew curious. We will be targeting Generation X, those aged 30 to 49, due to a greater amount of disposable income, typically an annual income greater than $75,000. The home brewer, on average, is 40 years old, married or in a domestic partnership, and 23% of them live in the Midwest. Our primary customer is a college-educated man who drinks a craft beer at least once a week and buys craft beers because they see it as a small premium for a big difference in taste.
So the idea behind Build-A-Beer is it's going to take away all the hassle that goes with brewing your own beer at home. I know, personally, I've brewed my own beer, I've gone to places, brewed beer, and the idea of doing it is awesome. It's a lot of fun, you think it's going to be a great product and everything else. The reality is a completely different story. For example, I went recently to go in and brew another batch of beer. Found out that my ingredients were outdated, so I'm going to have to buy new ingredients. I go to look at my bottles, well, you know what, they need to be sanitized. Then the next thing you do is you go to brew, and you realize part of your equipment is broken, like in my case, the thermometer got broken since last time. Well, I had to go online, buy a new thermometer. That set me back a few days. By that point, it was already the week and I was working and very busy. I got kids, I got a job, I have class. This all takes time. So what ends up happening is what you think you're going to do one weekend ends up happening 6 months later. And guess what? You got to start all over because the same things happened since the last time you were in there. We take that out of the equation. 9 minutes on our website will save you 9 hours of preparation, active hands-on brewing, bottling, and cleanup. We've designed our website so that if you can order a pizza, you can build a beer.
Nation in the world. I do not have time for my home brewing anymore. While browsing Crane's business and reading about startups in my hometown, I read about Build-A-Beer Brewery. I clicked over to their website and decided to give it a try with my family recipe, a Hawaiian ale. I started by clicking on order online, followed by the my recipe option, and with a few simple clicks, I had specified all my ingredients, from the malt and yeast to specialty ingredients. Next, I clicked on packet and placed the minimum order of 2 cases of 12-ounce bottles. Finally, I clicked on personalize it and added custom labels for a small additional fee. 3 days later, I received a call from a consultant to go over the details, optimize proportions and ingredients, and to ensure my beer would be up to presidential standards. I will be picking up my custom brew in 6 weeks.
When we first started on this project, we were surprised to find that there weren't that many direct competitors. Then we got really excited about Build-A-Beer as an actual viable idea. So some of the first steps that we took were moving forward with researching what was out there, what was already out there, what was online. And there were a lot of things out there that were online but weren't quite what we were looking at doing. You could order beers with custom labels for an event or a wedding, things like that. You could get a custom brew, but you had to win a contest in order to have it produced by professionals. Or you had to just do it in your own home, taking up space, or you could join a co-op locally. It's going to be mostly the online, anybody who can provide a craft brew outside of a home environment. So even the craft beers that you're going to find at your local liquor store, where you can do a build a box or a build a 6-pack of any kind of custom brews that you want, so you can test anything. There are also larger suppliers, larger brewers that are doing this to some extent, but you have to win a contest in order to have your particular recipe produced. An additional competitor that would be out there, which is fairly indirect, because once again it's just about craft brews, not necessarily about a home craft brew, but it is the beer of the month kind of club.
In January 2013, Middlebrow Brewing held their first home brewing contest, the Winter Warmer Challenge. Engineer by day and an avid home brewer, Matt Holly saw an ad for the contest at a home brewing supply store. Matt's winning recipe, the Life Pursuit, is a saison with a light toasted malt character with cinnamon vanilla spice. Through a partnership with Big Chicago Brewing, Matt's beer was produced and available on draft at local Chicago bars. He was able to take part in the brewing process, putting on the boots and taking lessons from professional brewers. Matt left his job as a mechanical engineer and is now a brewer, cellarman, and safety manager at Half Acre Brewing Company. We were lucky to sit down with Matt to get his thoughts on Build-A-Beer based on his professional and home brewing experiences.
So my name's Matt Holly. I used to work, I got a bachelor's degree in engineering, mechanical engineering, and started working at an engineering firm for a few years. And when I started that, I also got big into home brewing. And that got more and more intense as the years went by. And probably 5 or 6 years into home brewing, I entered a competition and won the competition. As a winner, I got to have my beer brewed and distributed throughout Chicago, which was a pretty cool experience. And after that, I decided to go back to school. There are different brewing schools around. So I picked one and did like its distance learning program through that. And yeah, after that, I left my engineering job and ended up getting a job at Half Acre Beer Company. I guess the Middlebrow thing there wasn't a whole lot of consultation or like discussion about the recipe because they wanted to do what I submitted. But there was talk about like how we were going to add spices and the best way to do it without affecting the that. So there was definitely some talk about how to make sure that we were doing it the best way possible. There's so many people that are home brewing right now, and a lot of people that are getting into it. They're looking for maybe like making a little more than what they can do at home, or trying to market their beer, or even trying to like get a job at places. They would make a good amount and like go and try to pitch themselves as somebody that can work at a brewery because they've done it. So I mean, there's a lot of options for that.
Our sales promotion strategy focuses on the first 12 months of Build-A-Beer's existence. We will use a combination of social media, creative advertising, and rewards programs to raise awareness of our product, reach our Chicago-based target market, and retain customers. We will begin a social media campaign on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. All of these forms of social media have the ability to reach millions of people. Since Build-A-Beer is an online service, we will focus most of our efforts on driving potential customers to our website. We will spend considerable time on search engine optimization, so our website comes in as one of the top 10 results in Google, Yahoo, and MSN, based on keyword searches for terms like customized home brewing. We will advertise at local bars, beverage stores, and beer festivals. With hundreds of bars to choose from, after some market research, we could determine the best approach as to neighborhoods and types of bars that we could target for advertising and promotions. At these promotional events, we could offer product samples, promotional branded items, and promote our website. We would follow a similar plan with beverage stores like Binny's and the beer festival scene. There are at least 15 more beer festivals in the Chicago area throughout the end of 2016, including the Craft Beer Festival in Lincoln Park.
Making beer is cheaper on larger scales because it takes the same amount of time to make 1 gallon as like 100 gallons or 1,000,000 gallons or whatever. It's generally the same amount of time. There's a little bit of things that take longer, but when you're doing stuff very small, it's very expensive and it's hard to be profitable. So you'll even look at breweries that are like what do they call them now? Nano breweries, 1 barrel or so. It's like 30 gallons or 45 gallons, and it's like that size is kind of like a way to get your name out there, build like a following, and then you jump up in order to become a little more profitable. So it's tough to make a lot of money, but like things that are good to help you make money are like the shop, merchandise, selling beer on premise.
$180 for 2 cases of Build-A-Beer is based on domestic, non-specialty ingredients. The price increases for imported and specialty ingredients. Build-A-Beer's pricing strategy uses the competitive pricing approach, which looks to our competitors' prices as a key marker. At $180 for 2 cases, our starting price per bottle is 20% higher than the highest cost per bottle of our most direct competitor. Mobcraft prices 4 22-ounce bottles at $25 per month, not including shipping. Because Mobcraft's product is not a custom brew, the 20% increase in price for a fully customized Build-A-Beer brew is justified. Build-A-Beer's other competition is homebrewing. After the initial purchase of equipment, the cost per bottle for a home brewer is 95 cents. Given our customers' annual income of $75,000 or $36 per hour, the 9 active hours of the home brewer's time equates to $324, almost double the price of 2 cases of Build-A-Beer. We will employ promotional pricing strategies, including 10% off your first order and discounts based on your participation in our Rate Beer program.
Beer world, you have to have, there's a 3-tier system, so we don't sell to any bars or restaurants directly. It's all to the middleman, the distributor, and then they hold it and they sell it to the bars and breweries, or bars and restaurants. So if you sell your beer at a tap room or a shop or you do a Lincoln, you make more profit, so you don't have to get cut off and hurt your profits by the
Initially, there will be no intermediaries between Build-A-Beer and our customer. With the focus on consumers within 100 miles of Chicago, customers will pick up their orders direct from the Build-A-Beer brewery.
The most expensive part of making beer is packaging. So when you're looking at packaging things, like waste to get a line running and to end a line, wasting the beer that's in your hose between the tank and all that stuff. If you're only doing like 5 cases of that beer, it probably won't be worth it financially for you to do it because you're gonna have too much loss in the system to account for what you're gonna make for it for that. So trying to figure out a way to package a little more of it. So if you were gonna sell some of it to stores or some of it at your shop or something like that, in addition to what they would get, that would be something I would look at. And I think I've always heard that right around a 7-barrel system is where you turn profitable. That's kind of where you go from burning money to making more profitable. Yeah, and if you're charging a little more money for it because it's special things, then maybe it would make a little more.
Convenience. You're not paying for
Right.
product, you're paying for convenience.
But I would say think about that. So when you're looking at system sizes and stuff, that's kind of what I've heard is like the tipping point.
For all their bravado and their anti-craft beer messaging in recent Super Bowl ads, Budweiser is struggling to give their beers away for just $1. As you can see, even a behemoth like Budweiser is experiencing diminished sales because of the growing craft beer market. As of 2013, the aggregate of craft breweries has surpassed Budweiser in total barrels shipped. We view this as a win-win opportunity for corporate partnership. We plan to present the highest rated beers from our Rate Beer program to large breweries like Budweiser to offer them the opportunity to invest in market-tested, customer-endorsed, original recipes that could be a new product line for struggling big breweries. Our customers now get visibility and distribution in the market.
And it was also cool to be a part of, like, to see it out in the world, and like go to a bar and talk to people about it. And it's really neat to make something that people love and enjoy.
What I've learned from this assignment is that if you do something that you enjoy, you'll never work a day in your life. I also learned that it's really easy to make Jessica giggle.
What I learned doing this assignment is that delegating different jobs for a project based on different people's strengths really helps create a great overall product. I also learned that Jared will not do a project in school unless it involves alcohol.
What I learned from this project is that if you work with a really good group of people, then it doesn't feel like you're doing work at all. And I also learned that this is what happens when you build a beer.
What I learned is that if you have a half-formed idea that you're passionate about, it'll beat any fully formed idea that you're not passionate about. I also learned that people really pay attention and you should film everything that you shoot in the same daylight.
What I learned from this project is that all those ideas you see on Shark Tank and how easy they make it look, it's not actually that easy. There's a lot of work that goes into successfully marketing a project. I've also learned that beer, really helps the creative process.
Build a Beer, a custom brew for you.
They're amazing. And
Space for home brewing, but wants visibility and distribution in the craft beer journey.
One more time.
I really thought I did a good job there.
Bluff with them.
We get some good brewery sounds in our video here.
Sorry, it's so funny.
I know, she made me
You're like a
laugh a bunch of
superhero.
times just looking at her. Build a beers. Build a beers. Build a beer. Focus like that. I'm trying to get Build a Beer in.
Go.
Forgot the name of our company.
Build a Beer. That's an outtake. We're the best.